You're listening to A Midlife Less Ordinary, the weekly podcast giving you the lowdown on becoming a cool older dude. The good times are not a faded memory. It's time to start living them again. And here are your hosts, Wayne and Trev.
Hello and welcome to this special Halloween edition of A Midlife Less Ordinary. My name's Wayne and I've got my little jack-o'-lantern himself, Trev, waiting to come in and say, Happy Halloween, Trev. That's the Celtic original meaning of Halloween.
Really?
Halloween, yeah.
What I need answered before we go that route.
Yes.
That sinister laughter, was that an ex-girlfriend of yours? Because I thought I recognised the voice.
Which is an old witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some of the talent you've been out with before, mate, and that sort of summed it up.
Witches of Eastwick would be an improvement, I tell you.
Yeah, I think you would have all three of them, didn't you? At one point?
Easily, yeah, all at once. Yeah. But Halloween, Trev, I mean, Halloween now is so massive as an event. And when I was a kid, all I remember was thinking, oh, Halloween's on the TV and there might be witches around later. There was nothing going on really, was there?
I think without being controversial, I think a lot of it's become very Americanized.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I remember like watching kind of E.T. and Poltergeist, I think there's a Halloween bit in it. And it wasn't a big deal over here, but excuse me, from the introduction of those films, it's like the UK has inherited it. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, it's another commercialised thing, obviously, to make money. But in the old days, we'd be looking forward to a firework night now, wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we would. I think the thing is, it's a nice thing because I'm all for it because I like sort of, and this sounds even worse than what we've covered before. I was about to say I like kids coming to my door, but that's not right.
We've been here, yeah.
But I like that. I always... I've got a big bucket full of sweets for the kids. I like it when they're really pleasant and they thank you for it.
Yeah. Kids love it, man.
Yeah.
They say the 10-year-old, he lives for it. He wants a Halloween party. He wants it. And I don't understand it, but I think my first, and this was only a few years ago, my first kind of introduction into the big thing of Halloween was in my job. There's not a lot I can say about my job really, but it's not because it's secret or anything else. It's just that I don't want to send people to sleep. But no disrespect to either of our jobs. They are very boring. Yeah, exactly. But sometimes my job gets me into places that you can't get doing any other job.
What's going on here?
No, not that kind of place. But the thing is, you get into Houses of Parliament and things like that to do a specification.
Talking of Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, exactly. But about 12, 13 years ago, I was asked to go to RAF Mildenhall, which is in my region. It's in Cambridgeshire, Suffolk border. Mm-hmm. And it's an American air base. And you basically got to have your passport to get on there and everything. It's a nightmare. You go in there, you register in, and I've got to go and do some work on the. Basically, when I drove in there, you drive on the other side of the road, and it's like being in America. The actual base, which is in Suffolk, is like being in America. It's on you drive on the other side. They've got basketball courts and there's like it freaked me out. It really did freak me out.
It's to make them feel at home, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just like being at home. And then I was driving, and I was basically doing a specification for the houses. Now all the Americans obviously have got these houses, and it was around Halloween. And they were just done up like saying out of A Nightmare Before Christmas, even though that's Christmas, not Halloween. But it looked like Tim Burton kind of
balls
thing.
Up.
Yeah,
balls up.
But, that kind of Tim Burton-y kind of. They were all done up like that. And I hadn't seen anything like that ever.
No.
So obviously the American culture, is obviously transferred over to us now.
You know what we were talking about on one of the previous episodes about being like relics and being sounding old?
Yes.
And what I'm going to say now puts me and you right in that category, or just me. But I don't, when kids come to your door,
Yeah.
I like it when they're supervised and they're like maybe their mum's with them. That might be something I probably look forward to. I shouldn't be mentioning that their mum's with them. But I kind of look at it as though it's when you get toddlers that they've just been pushed out on the street. Yeah. And I'm like, that's wrong.
No,
you know?
that's right. Please, sir, can I have some more? Yeah, no, parents, it's all part of it. They usually dress up as well. I know Sarah goes out with and they stand, they stand there just like at the end of the drive, just making sure they're safe.
Exactly, that's what it is. Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. I think that's how it should be done.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
I'm not being funny. I don't want like a couple of 18, 19-year-old blokes turning up at my door saying, what you fucking got? I'm like, well,
I'll have to BMW, please, mate.
Yeah, sure. A mini Snickers and a sherbet dib dab isn't going to quill your
trick or BMW keys, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trick or I'll kick your teeth down your throat. I don't know which one I'll have.
We're too old to defend ourselves, but
yeah, exactly.
But I think, Trev, that time of the week where usually we would have like a little bit about the news. I think because of the time of year it is, let's have a little AMLO Halloween wipe, shall we? This is about the best music I could find for the Halloween wipe. Yeah. But
it's spooky, man.
It's a bit spooky,
that's all that counts. Ooh, spooky.
So my first fact from Halloween, Trev, is children are 50% more likely to be killed or injured by traffic on October the 31st than on any other night.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because there's loads of them out there.
Exactly. It's just statistics, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's loads of them.
So be careful, kids. Always yearn the Green Cross Code. Good old
Dave Prowse.
Yeah, I was going to say Dave Prowse, God rest his soul, can't do it himself anymore, but you could always look on YouTube at them old videos.
We need another Green Cross Code man, don't we?
We do.
We do.
Who could it be?
Should we start a petition up?
Henry Cavill or something?
Henry Cavill would be great.
Yeah.
I thought me and you could do it. The Green Cross Code twins.
It would be great.
Just stand there like in a green underpants, like. Well, yeah. For that.
Green underpants is always some green underpants hanging around.
Yeah.
Halloween is also celebrated around the world. We didn't know that. It's popular in the UK, China, Japan, Brazil, Greece, and Romania, of all places. Mm-hmm. It's especially popular in Ireland. Do you remember this, Trev, from your time there?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Where children dress as creatures from the underworld. Trick-or-treating is also popular, and October the 31st is the busiest night of the year for the police. Really? That's not Sting, before you say.
Roxanne!
you don't have to put on your skeleton mask, Roxanne.
Yeah. Walk the streets for candy. You don't know if it's wrong or if it's right.
This AMLO wipe's not going as well as I hope, is it?
But you know why there's loads of police out? Because you get the little gits egg your house.
Yes, good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
That's why. Have you ever tried getting egg off of a window?
It's not good, is it? It's a binder.
It's not a good
It's a binder. That's why when you eat a lot of eggs, you get bound up inside, man.
Yeah, it's binder and bounder. Yes,
it is very binding. It's gluey substance.
Yeah.
The colours orange and black are often associated with Halloween. Orange originally signified the autumn harvest, while black was associated with darkness and the line between life and death.
Nice.
So that's the All Hallows thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Trick-or-treating began in Ireland when children would visit homes and tell rhymes for rewards. Is that what you were doing when you were there?
It was. I was the king of rhymes.
There was a young lad from Limerick who had a massively long... Yeah,
Chimerick.
Like that. Chimerick.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was the king of rhymes over there. That was my rap name. Just DJ Jazzy Trev. Yo. Lay down on
I
the
remember
decks,
you
man.
well.
Yes.
In 8th century Britain, poor people went begging from door to door on Halloween. There you go. That's it.
I wouldn't want you turning up at my door begging. That would really wind me up.
I've begged you before. Like, please come out, Trev. No, you're not coming out with you. You're sad.
Go and take your orange and black suit and fuck off, mate, because I'm not having it.
He has done that. The 1978 film Halloween is considered to be a horror classic. It was made on a tight budget with the actors wearing their own clothes and helping with odd jobs. No, that's not the thing out of James Bond, odd job.
And I will mention this again later, but as you brought it up,
yes.
Did you know that Mike Myers' mask in that?
Yes.
Whose mask was it? They bought it.
Oh, it's a William Shatner mask or something, wasn't it?
Well done.
Yes.
Well done. They shaved the eyebrows off, dyed the hair.
That's right.
Painted it white, and it's actually a Captain Kirk mask.
Captain
Kirk, I'll explain it later on in the show why I know that and why I brought it up.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that popped in my head. I don't know where I got that from. But
very good. Very good.
It's good knowledge, Trev. Thank
Yeah.
you. The ancient Celts first wore masks and costumes on October the 31st. So they would not be recognised by wandering ghosts. Bonfires
Wandering
were lit
goats.
Wandering goats, yeah.
The goats of Halloween. Here they come.
They're very scary, them goats. They are quite scary. Bonfires were lit to ensure the sun would return next year. Jack-o'-lanterns were originally made from turnips, but are now made out of pumpkins. Surprise, surprise. They're supposedly named after a mean man named Jack, who was condemned to wander the earth waving his lantern. That wasn't his lantern, kiddies. That wasn't his lantern to mislead people.
Normally, also known as Jack with the large belly.
So there's nearly 19, this is my last fact, Trev.
Right.
Nearly 19,000 tonnes of pumpkins are sold in the US and UK every Halloween.
Jesus.
19,000 tonnes. We're in the wrong business.
We are. Yeah, we are.
So there you go. You know everything about Halloween.
I know everything about Halloween now. Everything.
There's
Everything
nothing you could ever be wanting anymore.
I'm a Halloween expert.
And talking of Halloween, Trev, we like to have a guest on now and again, don't we?
Yeah.
And we've got a guest for today's Halloween special, and I think this fits in well with this episode.
Pick
because
the right lady. We couldn't have done it any better. Couldn't have done. Yeah.
We've got Jayne Brown, who is a taxidermist, coming on to tell us all about the past. I mean, she actually does it for a living, doesn't she, Trev?
She does, yeah.
And tell us a bit about it. And I'm sure we got some questions on that. So I think we'll go over.
Interesting lady. Very interesting lady.
I think we'll go over to Jayne. So today we've got Jayne. And thanks for joining us, Jayne. You are well known in the South End area as the Tequila Girl. What does a Tequila Girl do, Jayne?
Well, I actually started off as Tequila Girl, but I became Tequila Woman because I did it for 30 years.
Wow.
So, yes, I'm probably the only one in the world that has done it that long. I did it as a job every weekend, weekend in, weekend out for 30 years. So I became known as Tequila Jayne throughout Essex because I worked in all the clubs and bars throughout Essex throughout all that time.
How did you get involved in that? Did someone offer you the job, or was it something you come up with?
What happened was I was actually a kissogram.
Oh,
and what happened? That had its peak time and was sort of declining because I did that for 2 years, and then I was looking for the next sort of thing for me to do. I've never done ordinary jobs ever,
right?
And my mum happened to see the job to be the Tequila Girl in the Evening Echo back then when jobs were advertised. So I went along for the job and got the job. And after about, a couple of months, they got rid of the promotion guy because there was a promotion guy that came in with the idea. And then he found the girls, but then they got rid of him and just gave it to me. And of course, they gave it to me, and it just went from there. So.
Right. I hope they've given you a golden tequila shot glass for doing 30 years.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
No, because the Christmas parties were pretty boring because it was just me on my own. Obviously, I worked for myself on my own in the clubs. Although I worked for the clubs, I was sort of self-employed. So, it was sort of like I was going from club to club to club,
So if you've been in any South End nightclubs in the last 30-odd years and you've got a tequila from somebody walking around, yes, there's a good chance that was Jayne.
Yeah. It was me. I started, I've really only recently stopped, and that was due to COVID, not due to me stopping because all the nightclubs closed around me.
Yeah.
And
very quickly, Jayne, just a little bit of advice to Wayne and I, because obviously Wayne and I are getting a bit older, and that's the reason we kind of did this podcast. But tell us the truth. If Wayne and I were going to start this business, before we get onto why you're really on the show, do you think there is a scope and there is a way in for Wayne and I to be the Horlicks men, to go around with Horlicks?
Horlicks?
Yeah, because we're a bit older now. Older people drink Horlicks.
Mate.
We could go around the old people's homes with like Horlicks tanks and maybe would that work? Do you think? Could we do that?
I do. I think instead of having a shot belt around your waist, you could wheel a Zimmer frame in and have sort of
this is it.
cocoa mugs hanging off. And all of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so always thinking about making money.
Yeah,
you know?
Trev's always
That's
milking
it.
the information from the professionals we speak to, and he's found
I
a
like the way
good
you use-
business opportunity
I
there.
like the way you use milk in there, Wayne, as well.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you need
I
that.
know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
part of the
it's
pun.
good.
Part of the
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
So we
That's it.
could get great value from Jayne, basically for being the tequila girl, also for being a kissogram, because I'm sure there's some stories there. But the reason you're joining
Oh my
us
God,
on,
there is photos.
well, we'll have you on to talk about that, Jayne,
We'll have you
if you
back
don't
on,
mind.
Jayne, and you
Definitely,
can talk
because there's some
about that.
stories there that will fit in with our audience for sure. But today on our Halloween special, you're here to talk about your taxidermy.
That's right.
And taxidermy, brilliant subject, something totally different to what we've done before. And I'm going to say the question I always ask somebody when I ask, but in this one, in this episode, it's more poignant. How do you get started in taxidermy?
Right. Well, like everything I've done, I never go looking for it. All these weird and wonderful things that I end up doing tend to fall in my lap and just come by my way. So what happened was, I'm also an interior designer, but I don't design ordinary rooms. I design quite unusual interiors, and I was designing my loft room in the style of the Victorian colonial period.
Wow.
Which was the age of travel. So, of course, that's when all the Victorians were going off to different countries and bringing back trophies of the animals that were indigenous to these countries they'd been to. Because, of course, there's no TV or no internet, so that's the only way they could show what was there. So I started looking around for some animal skins. I already had a really old leopard skin that I bought in a charity shop about 20 years, not charity shop, sorry, an antique shop about 20 years previously. And so I thought, I'll just have a look on eBay to see what's around. And I came across a full-size male lion.
That was going to be my next question for you, Jayne, because the limited research we do on this show, and we did, and I actually noticed that it looked like the first. This sounds really weird. The first thing you stuffed, and Wayne's obviously going to put some kind of snide, dirty joke in there.
No.
But the first thing you stuffed was that lion. Am I correct there?
No, you're not correct. No.
Oh.
No.
What was the first one then, John?
The first thing I stuffed was a mouse.
Oh,
but
right.
it came about by buying the lion, because I bought the lion. My mum had passed away. She'd left me some money. And I decided to buy this lion for my loft room and also as a commemorative piece, you know, to something with mum's money other than spending it on, I don't know, bills or whatever. Or whether
instead of spending on Horlicks, I get it. I get it.
So when I got this lion, it needed restoring. So I restored him all because I'm first and foremost an artist, really. And so I restored him, and then I started looking for other little creatures to go in this colonial-style room, and I came across a little mouse for sale on eBay, and I won him. And when it came
Is he already dead, Jayne? Sorry, excuse the ignorance.
Yes, he's already stuffed.
So,
yeah,
he's already stuffed.
And dead. Yeah.
Did he come in like a little jiffy envelope as well, Jayne?
Well, he came in a box, yes.
Oh, right.
But no, what actually happened was I arranged to pick him up because the woman who created him only had to live a few streets away. So when I met up with her in the Alex pub to
we know that well, that place.
To pass the box of delight over to me. And
doing the deal in the Alex.
Doing the deal with the Alex pub of a dead mouse. And she offered to teach me the art of taxidermy from scratch. And she said, would you be interested? I said, of course I would. I'd love it. So it went from there. So I went round to her house and had a lesson. And it went from there. That's how I got into it. But I just sort of fell into it, really.
So, Jayne, you saying that the mouse was already like stuffed? Did you just redo it differently then, as an art form?
Do you do it differently?
Sorry,
how do you mean?
If it's already stuffed, like, do you actually? I mean,
no, he was already.
I'd start again.
Yeah.
No. He was already taxidermied. I was just buying him to go as a addition into my colonial loft room with the lion. But so I was just buying stuffed animals to go into this loft room. I didn't think for 1 minute that I'd end up learning how to do the art. So via buying this mouse, she taught me from scratch how to taxidermy something I learned on the mouse.
Right. Jayne, can I very quickly ask, how much did you pay for the mouse, if you don't mind?
Oh, God. You're asking me a question. It was probably about 40 odd pounds, I would imagine.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just wondered what the going rate for dead mice was.
No, but...
Well, it depends. So this is that's the thing with taxidermy, you see. It can go for... I mean, I paid probably nearly £100 for a mouse that had been freeze-dried. And that's a different thing altogether. There's a lot of arms to taxidermy. It comes under quite an umbrella of what can be done and different techniques and things like that.
Is it like embalming, Jayne? Is it very much similar to? I know it's a weird question, but like to embalming a human, is it similar?
No, it's not embalming at all. No, taxidermy is sort of like an ancient Greek word, taxi meaning movement. As you get, a car's called a taxi, Taxi cab.
That's good, that.
We're learning.
Movement. And dermy is skin, dermist.
Oh, of course.
Oh. So it's movement of the skin. So taxidermy is you remove the skin and you place it over a mannequin, if you like, and you recreate the animal. And the art of taxidermy is to make it look as lifelike as possible, and that's where the real art form comes in. So you have to understand anatomy of animals and what animals look like, because we've all seen taxidermied animals and thought, what the hell is that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can teach someone the process. You can teach somebody the process from A to Z, to skinning it, to stuffing it, but you can't teach them to be an artist.
No. Wayne does the movement of the skin normally in like a dark room when there's no one about.
Oh, dear.
But he calls it something different.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for that, Trev.
As I said, there's lots of arms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be actually useful.
Legs.
That'd be very useful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wayne would like some extra. Yeah, exactly. Wayne would like some extra arms involved. We won't go into what sex he wants them to be, but that's another story.
Well, you can change the sex nowadays.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So Jayne, so now you obviously you've learnt the process of taxidermy. This sounds no. Does it always? You wouldn't buy an animal that's obviously. Oh, no, that sounds wrong. You wouldn't buy an animal that's alive and save it for the process of taxidermy.
Oh my God, no!
It's always a dead animal that somebody treasures or something like that, and wants to live forever on, kind of thing.
Right. Well, again, there's all different arms to this. The reason I'm a taxidermist is because, and this is going to sound sort of like a juxtaposition, but it's because I am an animal lover. I absolutely adore animals.
Yes.
And I could never, ever, I'm what's called an ethical taxidermist. So I will only do animals that have either died naturally, or roadkill, or other food for other animals. They call it feeder food, like mice, rats, and things which are already. You can go to the pet shops and buy them already frozen.
For like reptiles and snakes, Jayne, that kind of thing.
Yeah. They're food for reptiles and snakes.
Yeah.
So you go to the pet shop and they're already frozen to be reptile food. So it'd be like us going to the supermarket to buy chicken to eat.
Yeah.
So it's food. So me taxiderming it, I haven't been complicit in the death of the animal. No. It's food for another source.
Yeah.
I do people's pets, and I restore antique. Well, not only antique taxidermy, but I restore taxidermy because it has to be looked after.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can degrade. And sometimes it does degrade and gets moth-eaten or sunlight damage or, just general wear and tear, and I restore them as well.
Cool.
So
one question I did really want to ask you, Jayne, is there any animal that you haven't
on your wish list kind of thing.
Yeah, you haven't taxidermied yet that you'd like to? You'd find a challenge or something?
Well, I have a crocodile in my freezer at the moment. I've never done one of those.
Freezer.
Yeah.
Trevor's chicken
So
wings.
that is going to be quite a challenge because reptiles are different from mammals. You have to do a different preserving technique on the skin. And each animal is a challenge, to be honest, because the principle is the same, whether it's a bird or a mammal or a reptile. The principle is the same, but each animal, you could have two rats and one throws up different problems than the other one. There's so many factors with taxidermy of things that can go wrong. Like, for instance, if it's been left, I'm actually going to pick up someone's baby rabbit that's died next Wednesday, and the first question I ask is, how long has it been out of the freezer?
Oh God, yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that. Someone's pet.
Yeah, but because obviously as soon as something dies, that's whether it's human or animal, we look at that and see that as a dead body, but it's far from dead, because as soon as something dies, there's a lot of live bacteria that starts up to start the decomposition process. Yeah. So you have a window before that starts getting to a point where it's, impossible to preserve. So the first question I ask somebody, or if somebody says my pet's died, I say, how long's it been out of the freezer? And you must put it in the freezer immediately and wrap it in a bag.
So if anyone's going to take anything out of this, if you want your animal taxidermied by Jayne, or any taxidermist, put it in the freezer as soon as it drops off its perch, if it's a bird.
Wrap it and put it in a bag in the freezer.
Put it in a bag in the freezer. And is this right that you've been featured on a television program, Jayne, with this?
Yeah, I've been featured on a lot of TV shows, actually. But the one that kicked it all off was a documentary on Channel 4 called All the Creatures Great and Stuffed. And obviously. Yeah. And the programme followed 4 taxidermists from all different walks of life. And one was in America, one was in Holland, and 2 were in Britain, in the different ends of the country. There was me in Essex and another one right up north somewhere. And they followed the lives of us. And, people have different connotations about taxidermy and about taxidermists and what they think they should be or look like. Most people, if you spoke to the general public, would probably say it would be an old man in a flat cap in a shed or something, or it'd be the guy out of the film Psycho.
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates taxidermy service.
Yeah, because he had all the. He was a taxidermist. He was stuffing all the birds.
He was.
If you remember.
You're right. Yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
So that's the picture people get.
One question I'd like to ask you, and I don't know why I'm conjuring up these mental images.
Where's this coming from?
No, it's nothing dodgy. It's nothing dodgy. Is there like a convention where a lot of the taxidermists get together and like talk about, like you get conventions, like comic conventions and film conventions and whatever. Is there one for taxidermists?
Yes, there is. I used to be with a group called the Historical Taxidermy Society or something along those lines. I can't remember now because it was quite a few years ago. But yes, I mean, there is groups and things, and this particular one used to have outings to taxidermy museums and all sorts of stuff that you go all over the country that they'd go. And there's a lot of, there's collectors that discuss their collections, and you've got taxidermists that discuss there's lots of forums and things where you could discuss techniques, because there's all different techniques. People have their own little techniques to do things and get certain looks, and there's
pick up things.
Lots of resources for people that might be interested.
You can pick up things. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Often pick up dead things. But there you go.
It'll be us soon. Jade, this is obviously a business for you. So have you got a website or somewhere where people can go to find out more about you and what you do?
Yes, my website is called creature-features.org.uk. All lowercase.
We'll put that on the website for everyone to check out Jayne's work, because that's
if people can't remember that, just all they have to do is Google Jayne Brown taxidermist.
Cool.
Or
Brilliant.
Tequila Jayne taxidermist.
She's a lady of many things. It's shocking, isn't it? It's just like,
I don't think you'll have any trouble finding Jayne. That's
no, I don't think they will.
No.
That's
really interesting.
Absolutely not.
We really appreciate you joining us
thanks,
today.
Jayne, for coming
that's
on.
brilliant.
It's been one of the most interesting interviews. Not putting anybody down that's been on
they're
before.
all great as well. But you're not doing stuffed animals.
Interesting interviews we've done.
Honestly, you've only scratched the surface.
I can imagine. Can imagine.
That's brilliant.
Scratch the fur. Yeah. Only just scratch the fur.
Don't scratch the fur. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks, Jayne. Thanks for joining us.
You are welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Really enjoyed finding out all about getting stuff, Trev.
I knew you would. As soon as I approached Jayne about coming on, I thought, Wayne's going to get really good stuff in here. He's going to get really good stuff.
You've been waiting to do this all day.
I have, yeah. But no, what a great lady. Yeah. What a wonderful,
really enjoyed that.
Subject.
I hope we can get a part 2 on that and
definitely
find out a bit more about the other things she's done.
Well, she's got a lot of history in our area, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
We all remember her, So, great. Yeah, get her on again. We'll have another conversation.
So, Trev, I've got a Halloween special of the normal part of the show we have, which is the stream of the week. We're going to have the Halloween stream of the week. I was really original about
before you start the intro.
Yes,
as it's Halloween, and I just want a very quick reaction. Rob Zombie's version of the Monsters. I saw the pictures today from it. I think it looks shit. Because he's used the same people. Needs to get out of there. Would you empty your pumpkin for it?
I don't think I'll be stroking my
your orange skin.
Yeah,
you don't think you'll be stroking your orange skin for it?
Anything Rob Zombie does anymore.
Even I love Rob Zombie, but it's waning with me. His music as well, but it's right. It's really rainy. What
was the last good thing he done? House of 1,000 Corpses, or
no? Devil's Rejects was quite good.
Oh
nasty, but that was quite good. And it had great music. The soundtrack was brilliant. Any film that ends with Skinnerd is all right by me.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff he's done, no. He's the same as his comic career and his music. But I still got a real soft spot. But hit the intro. I just needed to know about that.
No, it's right. So we got slightly different music, Trev.
Oh, John Carpenter.
It is a bit John Carpenter.
It is John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I thought I'd just teeing it up for Halloween.
That's good. Yeah, I love that.
So let's just recommend some, the best, because we watch movies. I'm sure we can. Everyone wants to watch a scary movie at Halloween, Trev. So let's sort of get into the nooks and crannies of like what sort of movies people should be watching. It doesn't necessarily have to be on any of the streaming channels, because people can find the movies they want to see on anything nowadays. So if you had to choose like your movies or something to watch over Halloween that's a must watch and will scare the pants off of you, what will it be?
Difficult question. I'm going to pump with my favourite horror film ever, which is strangely a John Carpenter one. And that's The Thing.
Yeah. Good.
Love
good call.
Kurt Russell. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant film.
The new one that came out afterwards, didn't think it was great.
It weren't bad, was it? It was like a direct remake, wasn't it?
Loved the way it ended, and it took. But going back to the original, or not the original, the second, the remake of the original, you wouldn't get a film like that again now.
No.
Because they were older guys who were just average fellas that worked in like an Antarctic research laboratory.
Yes.
Now, if they remade it now, they'd all be big buff guys. It would lose that.
Thank you. Get a part? No. Okay.
I said big buff guys, not complete twats. Mate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll get the message.
But yeah, honestly, I know you're a big fan of it as well.
Yes. Yeah. Massive. Good choice, mate. Yeah. I didn't. Wouldn't have really been on the list really, because I wouldn't have thought of it. But it is a horror. It is. And it's unique, and it's got great effects. The original kind of effects.
Mr. Botine absolutely blew it out of the park. How can you not be absolutely stunned about a head that comes off of a table?
Yeah.
its tongue lashes onto another table. It pulls itself across underneath a table.
Yeah.
A lot of tables going on here.
There's a lot of tables.
And next minute, it sprouts 2 antennae for eyes, 8 legs, and crawls across the floor like a spider.
Yeah.
What other movie has ever done that?
No, you're right. It is freaky because it is the real. They're not CGI. They just have that extra kind of aura about it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Really
CGI.
creepy. And it has that aura of foreboding kind of thing going on, doesn't it? That kind of, you don't know who to trust and everything, which is great.
It's just ultimate. And to be honest, this is a desperate plug for us because Roddy Bottin has just disappeared off the face of the planet. If he hears any kind of thing about his podcast, please come on and tell us why you quit and what you're doing now.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, please.
I'd love that because he's a hero of mine, along with Rick Baker. So those guys, you know. But what about you? What would you pick?
Yeah, I was sort of, reaching into my soul and trying to come with Halloween terms here. Reaching into my soul, trying to think, and I was sort of going through the motions, and I'll go through what I was thinking. Yeah, it could be The Shining for its masterful psychotic experience,
Exorcist,
and chills. Yeah, well, no, you would have to say that now, wouldn't you? I'm building up to this. Now you've ruined it because this is where we should do a practice run beforehand. I was going through American Werewolf in London because it freaked me out the first time I watched. Imagine that happening now. I was 12 years old. I'd never seen a horror film, and they showed it at youth club when we went to school. I had to walk out because of that bit with the Muppets coming on, and I'd never seen anything like it.
I tell you what, the thing with that is, and I didn't really understand why that was so scary. And then when I watched the interview that John Landis did, and he said that what's the most scary thing to a Jewish family, and that would be monsters dressed as German stormtroopers boarding your house like the catastrophic thing that went on in the Second World War, and doing what they did. And I was like, I thought it was scary, but when he explained that, it took it to a different dimension of scary.
We didn't understand
was
that at that time.
Didn't get it. They were just monsters, zombies to us, monster demons.
Zombie.
When I heard that, I was like, that's scary as shit. It
took me a long time to watch that movie again.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, when I was like at 20 or so, you know what I mean?
It freaks me out.
It freaks me out, and it still has that kind of feeling now. But
it's got the best effects for a werewolf change ever. It will never be beaten. Doesn't matter how good a modern horror film, werewolf film will be. It will never beat the master of Rick Baker for doing that. Exactly. It was just stunning.
It's a great. You can watch all of these at Halloween. Why not watch all of them? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
is it about time I got my tongue out of his arse?
No, because not until he's come on the podcast, because he might like it.
We have approached him, but he just ignored us, which is understandable. Most people do.
Well, we never know. We'll small steps, Triff. Small steps to his arse. Another film. It's not right. I don't watch it over and over again, but it freaks me out. Is Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah, good film.
It's like Polanski, isn't it?
Polanski.
It's just freaky. It just freaks me out. The Wicker. I've got the Wicker Man. You've picked all the film there. You know where I'm going with this. All the creepy kind of British thing because it's and it freaks me out watching Edward Wood because he was the equalizer. Watching Edward Wood getting like burnt. The Nicolas Cage remake was absolute shite. But that film is freaky. Just like Britt Eklund going around the room going banging on a door. It just freaks me out. It's like being on Osea Island near where I live. It's just freaky.
We could mention so many movies that obviously the Evil Dead trilogies.
Yeah, you could go for that kind of
because they're all different. Yeah. One's a horrible, nasty horror film. The second one is like a Buster Keaton movie.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell just knocks it out of the park. Yeah. His actual body comedy in that is epic. And then you've got the third one, which is like a Ray Harryhausen movie. It's amazing. Yeah. They've got obviously all the Romero stuff, the zombie films.
Yeah, see, they're just grim and grotesque for that kind of genre.
Exactly.
But you've already given away my number one in the end. It is. Because if you want to be scared to somewhere in your soul where you're not sure if it's kind of real or not, I think that film has got it all.
Yeah, it's my mum's favourite film. My mum's favourite film ever. Yeah, my mum's favourite. She
Did you watch it with her?
Yeah, I did back in the day, and she loved it. And the reason she loved it so much is because she was a mother and seeing the daughter go through that, and the mother, she took it more as a psychological horror film than a horror film, I think. Yeah. But I tell you what, I watched the new Conjuring the other night. Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
No, all the Conjurings aren't bad, to be fair.
But they're all just The Exorcist.
Yeah, they are.
Trying to be The
Yeah,
Exorcist.
they are.
That's the trouble. As good as these movies are,
They'll
even
never
like
be
The
that.
Entity,
Yeah.
The Entity, they're all possession movies. The Amityville films are all good, but they're just not The Exorcist.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose. They're all good in their own right. Yeah.
Yeah, but they are not The Exorcist.
No, and that's what I mean. You go back to that. I mean, 1971-ish, isn't it? Something like that when we were born.
Yeah. And then it was bits. Then they missed bits out and released a director's cut with.
That's why it was banned, wasn't it? For years, it was one of the video nasties.
It was, yeah, and it's too good a film to be that.
Oh yeah, it is,
a lot of the slashers that were in it, like The Burning and stuff. They're good films for what they are, but they deserve to be banned in a way.
It is,
Driller Killer.
It really is. Yeah, Driller Killer. That doesn't
deserve it.
It's a freaky film that's genuinely scary and foreboding and makes you think, and you go to bed like thinking about it. It still does that to me.
Yeah, so, very quickly as well as you're talking. You know, the thing I watched as well, just to sum this bit up, I think, is the program that's on Netflix, The Movies That Made Us, the series 3.
Yes,
it's. I watched them all, and they're all Halloween based. And if you're a film geek like I am, and I know Wayne is, they tell you everything about some of your favourite horror films ever. Halloween's on it. A Nightmare on Elm Street, we forgot to mention that. What a film.
Yeah, great.
That influence, I had posters of Freddy Krueger and Heather Langenkamp up on my wall as Nancy when I was a kid. John Saxon's in it. Yeah, I had the poster of John Robert England and Heather Langenkamp in their like he had a tuxedo on with a green and red bow tie, and she had like a purple ball gown with brilliant picture. Aliens is on it. Friday the 13th.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
RoboCop. And I think Nightmare Before Xmas is coming on. Yeah. But yeah, if you're a film geek and you love Halloween and you love those, watch all of them. They're brilliant.
Thanks for that, Trev. No.
You could gain so much, and that's on Netflix, by the way.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that, Trev. I'll be putting that on my list to watch. So there you go. There's all our recommendations for things to watch. I don't think you'll run out of anything with all them recommendations.
No.
You know, this is one thing that we know about, so you won't go wrong with any of them. So yeah, that's it, Trev. I hope you enjoy your trick or treating this week.
Yeah, have a spooky one.
Have a spooky one. You know, you get through a lot of pumpkins.
That sounds convincing.
It was very good. Yeah, I added some echo effects to that, and you never know any difference.
Yeah, but, exactly.
As usual, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave us a review. AMLOpodcast.com. Leave us a message.
Leave us a frightening message.
Leave us a frightening message. We'll play the best ones on the show.
We will.
We'll save it for next year's Halloween special. But I'm quite enjoying these specials, Trev. Maybe we'll do one for next.
I like a special.
Maybe a Christmas special.
Yeah, I like a special from a Chinese.
We'll get Val Dunican on.
Yeah. Well, we're going to bring him back from the dead like science.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, we're seeing this as a Halloween special. Why not?
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Never fuck about with Ouija boards.
No, no. I don't like movies with Ouija boards. They freak me out.
And don't fuck about with them.
Yeah,
because they're
Captain
not
Howdy. Captain Howdy.
No, they're not clever anyway. Don't think I'm going to have a go. That'd be a good laugh. They're not a laugh.
Red Rum.
They are scary as shit. Don't touch them, all right? That's my advice.
Yeah, don't do it, kids. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great Halloween. Enjoy yourselves, whatever you're doing.
Eat as much pumpkin as you can.
Yeah, do it. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please leave a rating and review and visit our website at www.amlopodcast.com to check out all the links and resources in the show notes. Start living them good times. See you next time.